Om Namah Shivaya. I am Professor Rudra Prasanna Mahapatra from Bhubaneswar, Odisha, India. I am an astrologer and astro researcher. I normally take up topics least ventured, demand some kind of attentions in current field of astrological research, and so on. And I hardly come prepared. So if some factual mistakes are taking place, please pardon me for that. Okay, so let us discuss a topic today which is quite relevant nowadays. And that topic is love and relationship. Yes. So this is a very least ventured area in the classical astrology because these concepts are quite new. That marriage has always been in our culture. Love is also, but not the today's kind of love. You can have the example of Krishna and Radha, and marriage is Rama and Shiva. We have that concepts, but not the changing concepts like at present. I told you that I was actually in fact with one online portal of astrologers where 90% of questions, yes, 90% of the questions I was receiving from teenagers regarding the love affairs. You can take it love, lost, whatever you say, but basically it is a kind of relationship. What does this mean? Let's first define the concept very clearly. In our culture, things were like this: first marriage, then love. I'm talking of this husband wife love. But I do not know in astrology, maybe astrologers were our rishis were aware of the fact that things are going to change. So they have put the fifth house or the house of love before the seventh house, the house of marriage. Traditionally, if we see any connection between the fifth lord and seventh lord, we used to say that this marriage will culminate in a love marriage. But nowadays, things are not like that. Boys and girls are experimenting with themselves. Let me very frankly give you one example. One lady is working in a farm or company, very hectic job, and she is now 23 or 24, whatever that. I mean, adult, of course. And she is in living relationship with a boy in the same company or in a different company. They are not married. They are experimenting with themselves. If things will go okay, there this kind of relationship will end up in a marriage. So essentially, they are living like husband and wife before the official ritual of marriage. Yes, also now society is getting, I mean, giving permission for that. So, how to see these things in horoscopes? Suppose a lady had a living relationship in 2016, then they broke up. Again in 2018, she had a living relationship, then they broke up. Then again in 2022, she was in a relationship. Now she is going to again terminate that relationship and thinking of reuniting with the second relationship. Are you getting me? That within the last 6 or 7 years of time, one lady had living relationship with multiple men, or even one man has multiple ladies. And now, at the time of marriage, I mean, time is maybe force from the family. So she is thinking of no, after this experiment of three guys, now I think the second guy is very much relevant for me. And she is asking me that, sir, will he return to me? Because we are already broke up. And if at all he is returning, our marriage matching is good. Quite a practical challenge before astrologers. They had already lived like husband and wife for 2 years. Yes, they don't have any progenies, however, but everything is like husband and wife. Now they separated. Now she is again saying this. So astrology, Hindu astrology, is now in a challenging field. How to see these things in a horoscope? Let's go step by step. You know, love is blind. So love begins from emotions. And what is the character for that? Moon. Intimacy after a few months or years may lead to a kind of physical relation. And what is the character for that? Venus, to some extent Mars. Now this attachment is Rahu. Yes. This is a kind of addiction because at the age of 15, the girl had one kind of relationship. At the age of 17, she had. So now this love is getting converted to obsession, or the so-called love. Obsession. So obsession is Rahu. So now you find three planets: Moon, Venus, and Rahu. Forget about Mars for the time being. Just a small combination, Mars and Venus combinations make one person womanizer with a little bit combination of Rahu. Excessive sexual desire comes from Mars and Venus combination, that may be aspectual, that may be in conjunction or house exchange in both D1 and D9. But anyway, Shiva. Let's now we have these three planets: Moon, Venus, and Rahu. Which are the houses? Of course, 5 and 7. Once two people are living like husband and wife, mean it is from the seventh house. Unless and until they are not prepared to take their responsibilities and staying together like husband and wife, you can look for fifth house. A person having extramarital affair, some secrets, other things, you can go for 8th house. So extramarital affairs will not be counted. I'm not talking of those things, which are basically if a person is also a womanizer, then also it is from the 8th house you see Rahu and Mars, Venus you have to see. But here I am talking of relationship. The boy is known by the parents of that girl. This girl is also known by the parents. They are into living relationship. They are just experimenting. So here you find fifth house, fifth lord, seventh house, seventh lord, and Karaka, Moon, Venus, and Rahu. Very clear. Hmm. Now, Shiva. Basing on the dasa or fifth lord or seventh lord, basing on the strength, however, you cannot measure the strength of Rahu in terms of Sadvara or in unit of Rupa. You have to see only the placement and the dispositor strength. Rahu is in Cancer, so moon strength. If Cancer is Kendra, so like that, you know how to evaluate the strength of these nodes. Now we have to find out these combinations, permutations, combinations, they say in mathematics, but basically in astrology, it is the combinations where things are going to work out for this kind of relationship. So as you know that I hardly come prepared, so I'm also thinking simultaneously to present these combinations. First thing is very clear. Fifth lord and seventh lord, fifth house and seventh house connection is there. The dasa is approaching with a tinge of Rahu in that. So moon Rahu combination, obsessive desire. Saturn moon combination, melancholy. Shani but Rahu, but Rahu moon, you can say depression, sleeplessness, other things, but obsessive desire, a kind of mild madness, you can say. Yes, moon and Rahu. But moon and Saturn is melancholy. So there are few technical terms, melancholy, nostalgia, depression, like that. Nostalgia means you are thinking of past. Melancholy means you are enjoying your loneliness. Depression means you have enhanced your psychological realities up to those extents that you are not capable of appreciating the current realities. So, however, Saturn moon, but not Rahu moon. So, if you are finding this kind of combinations, Rahu and moon in fifth house, Rahu and moon in seventh house, or seventh lord with Rahu and moon in the D1 or in D9, you may, yes, you may, because the same horoscope for a village girl may not work similarly for the horoscope who is working in a MNC. That this person is going to have multiple relationships. They are not asking us before getting into relationship. They are getting into that. They are getting each other's flaws. Then they can decide that we will not stay together. Practical enough, maybe to some extent, many people will say, yes, this is highly rational also. But as an astrologer, I will say, yes, culturally not accepted. But only the static things about culture is it's changing. Yes. And it is not in the context of India, it is context across globe. So first you see the condition of moon and this fifth house. If it is extremely strong, then the attachment will come. If seventh house is also equally strong, then they will go for a fair enough relationship. However, however, I am repeating here, please evaluate both the horoscopes. Yes, in 80 to 90% of the cases, these living relationships will convert in successful marriage if matching is there. Yes, matching is there. I have examples. Matching is not there, it will not culminate in a successful marriage. So astrology is working in the background. But here we are in a it is in a very proactive way. They first took the decision they are coming to the astrologer. So now you will say, sir, it is very common. So even if the combinations, planetary combinations are not happening, then also no. If moon, basically your mental setup is afflicted, if Rahu is afflicted, hmm, then your this house lords they are afflicted, then things love affair will not resulted in living relationship. These planets in seventh house, Rahu, Moon, Venus, all in the D9 or in D1, living relationships. If they are in the Chararasi, then you can expect that multiple living relationships. Sthira means little bit. Restrictions are there, you can say one or at max two. See, we have to see the nature of the Rasi also here because we are doing some analysis as per the present situations. Well, whether it is ethical, unethical, I'm not getting into that. Neither I am a social expert. Gone were the days when I was an anthropologist, but not now. But I am saying you as an astrologer only. Taking you one step ahead. If living relationships are not resulting in successful marriages, can we blame Mars there? Say that yes, you have got Kujja dosa. Can we? Now you have to think little bit deeper. What if Mars in the seventh house? What if Mars in the fifth house? Take a very clear cut proposition. Mars is equal to violence. Wherever Mars is posited, violence is evident in that house, provided the strength of Mars, the Yogakaraka, Rakaraka nature of Mars, and conjunction of Mars. Yes, because you know, all know that in Sadbala, there is nothing called Jukti Bala. So even a planet is Sadbali and it has all the rights to get additional strength by conjunction. I do not know why Parasar has not calculated Mahasi Parasar. The Jukti Bala in Sadbala. Yes, it can be done actually, but because we have got this inimical and friendship relationship based on which Jukti Bala could have been calculated. Anyway, so seventh house Mars conflict. Separation in relationship, yes, possible. So now people are getting into multiple marriages, knowingly or unknowingly. Yes, you can say that. Because in reality, marriage is also not lasting for 6 months or even few months, less than that. They are getting married within 2 or 3 months. Girls in the girls go back because in our society we have the rule that we bring the girls. The bridegroom does not go and stay with the girl. Current scenario, if you are actually talking of the equality, yes. So let me also be very frank and say you the bridegrooms have all the rights to go and stay with the girls too, rationally, but culturally wrong. Anyway, so separation happened. Here the relationships are lasting around 1 year or 2 years. So why we cannot say these are kind of small marriages? Yes, you can say. Progenies are not the mandates of marriage. In astrology, at least not. But in sociology or in anthropology, it is. It is a legitimate union between a man and woman so that the offsprings born to them is the legal owner by both the partners. But astrological not. Yes. So, and if a person is getting into 2 or 3 relationships, which one will be succeeded cannot be said. That depends on the other spouse chart. One thing can be very clearly said that whenever there is a good matching, it will culminate in the marriage. Now, good matching is not only 36 good matching, also a good simultaneous dasa. Now, dasa has come. Let me also quote Guru K and Ra. I have already said that Venus and Rahu are responsible. Now, you will think that in this perspective, Rahu Venus dasa is very important. So, Rahu is very clearly saying that out of all these combinations, one should be extremely careful in predicting the dasa results in Rahu Venus or Venus Rahu. Yes, but in general, but in current situation, whenever we are talking of this premarital relationships or living relationship, you can take it quite familiar way. That yes, Rahu Venus is there, Venus Rahu is there, so living relationship happen. But if now the seventh lord is going for both of them, then they will end up in marriage. So now you can say that what is the intensity of obsession, what is the attraction for the opposite gender of an individual. But whether it will end up in a successful relationship leading to marriage cannot be said. You'll say, yes, you are in a relationship, yes, you can be. Always, see these planets. Hmm. So, living relationship is now a challenge for the astrologers. Now, coming to my first question. When the girl asked me that I had this living relationship with Mr. A, Mr. B, and Mr. C, now, after terminating the relationship with Mr. C, I am expecting that Mr. B will come back. And will we have a good marital life? You can go for a traditional marriage matching there, not an issue. You can also go to evaluate that where their relationship end up in, where the relationship built up, and where the relationship ended up. Building up this relationship, which is coming mostly into this kind of love affair, depending on the fifth house, Rahu, and Moon, or fifth house and Moon primarily. Whenever Rahu is acting as a karaka for both obsession in love, obsession in relationship, which is physical relationship too. So the seventh house, when the it is afflicted, or fifth house is much more strong. Don't go for Bhava see in lieu of these planets compared to seventh house, then you can say yes. They will may start a relationship, but it will not succeed. Vice versa, if the seventh house is making a good combination of Moon, Venus, Rahu, and the seventh lord is making any combination, then you can say yes. Just after love, they will prefer to go for living relationship. But whether that relationship will continue or not, you can clearly see it from the marriage matching type, Patita Rashi. But how much time they will stay in love, how much time they will stay in relationship, that can be said based on these propositions. Fifth house, fifth lord, Moon, Rahu. Here is fifth house, fifth lord, Rahu and Venus, to some extent Moon also. Real obsession in love is Rahu and Moon, as I said, obsession. Obsession in marriage, I mean, expectations from each other's physical relationship, it is mostly Rahu and Venus. Now you have got expectations from each other's, you are expecting more and more, greed is coming along with obsession. So, greed you know is Venus, obsession is Rahu. Seventh house, Venus Rahu combination, fifth house, Moon Rahu combination, but Rahu is a must for this kind of relationship. Because practically you think they love, they want to be intimate, so it may begin with Moon. But yes, love means begins with Moon. Moon is blind, many black spots, no light of itself. But obsession is Rahu. Now you are clear that how to see the relationship in a chart. You know what are the two more obstacles here. Obstacles to are here, not here. Often the I find the obstacles of here is multiple significations of bhavas. Strong fifth house, higher education. Strong seventh house, good business. Okay. Now, Karaka for education is Jupiter and it is for it's a business is Mercury. Okay. So we are not talking about that. So Sir, she has got a very strong fifth house, but not fine in education. Not possible if the Karaka Jupiter is not strong. Sukra sometimes also for higher education is Sarva Shastra Pravina. They are Guru. For education also. This jack of all trade education, this MBAs, technical educations, Venus type, very uniform like English, Sanskrit, humanities, no, mathematics, it is Jupiter. So uniform knowledge and diversified knowledge. So let's not get into that. But if you are getting into that, please check with Jupiter and Mercury for that, but not here. Now, take a look at Navamsa, because Navamsa is a must in marriage matching. Navamsa is seen for spouse. You all know that. Even Parasara software light, no, Parasara light software 9.0. In the parenthesis, in Navamsa, it is writing for spouse. So check for Navamsa is a must about this Karaka and this Lords. Fifth Lord, seventh Lord, Rahu, Venus, and Moon, where they are posited. Rahu in the Navamsa, a fifth Lord, obsession in love. Rahu in the Navamsa and seventh Lord, obsession in marital life or physical intimacy. Do not take me wrong. I am saying this intimacy, physical intimacy, because you just imagine this relationship is going on without a progeny. So they are not living a family kind of relationship. Yes. So this is technically, if you say, there is a concept taught in social science known as marriage and mating. Marriage is recognized, but mating is not recognized. So this is one kind of this. But gradually it is getting social recognition. Shiva. So Navamsa, you see, if these combinations are happening, then it will, whether an elongated love affair or elongated living relationship, you can say. Now, just another proposition. All these are actually attachment for other sex, I mean, opposite sex. That is why Krishna, Lord Krishna, is associated with moon. Krishna's love is not this kind of lust. Krishna's love was like compassion, but till then moon. In Dasavatara Vishnu, if you associate Lord Rama, Suryavanshi, Raghava with sun, while this Jadava, Krishna, is associated with moon. So moon is for this all kind of love, marriage, Venus is not for love. Having physical relationships, yes, you can take Venus, but not moon. Attachment is not. Only the hormonal impulses. So hormone again Venus, you know that. So love or attachment is more. This is because attachment comes from here. Mind, not brain. That is why Moon Rahu is psychiatric problems like depression, dementia, while Rahu and Mercury is neurological problems, forgetfulness, problem in speech, and sometimes also out of box thinking and doing things in not a quite straightforward way. Okay, so I'm talking of moon, not Mercury. So mind and brain, they are astrologically and scientifically different. So if moon is anyway getting afflicted in the horoscope via, as I told you, Saturn and Ketu. Saturn will lead to melancholy, Ketu will lead to a kind of spiritual thinking. Shiva. But Saturn is a kind of long term impact. That person will take time to get into depression, and attachment will solely be. It is not a good combination for marriage, also, other things, but just see this combination. If this combination is coming, then the person will have sooner or later have a kind of frustration from this kind of relationship, whether it is a living relationship or love relationship. Living relationship, I have made it clear, two are living under the same roof. Love relationship, they are not living. Many things are getting exchanged when actually we are living in the same roof, under the same roof. So you can take it as a kind of proxy marriage. So just look for the moon to say that whether this kind of things will be successful or not. Marriage, other things, you just again look for the seventh lord, seventh house, like that. So Chandra Lagna is very important here compared to the Lagna itself. Lagna is the body, Chandra Lagna is mind. So our Rishis are very much carefully say that please see the horoscope from Chandra Lagna, the Rasi, and also from Lagna. Now it is your discretion that where to apply and how. Like I was saying, that even in the classics, like Jataka Parijata, it is mentioned that this fourth house from moon in the Navamsa you take to see the 64th Navamsa. I mean, the 8th house in the D1 chart from moon you take to find out the 64th Navamsa. Lagna is not mentioned. But if you are calculating Badhaka at that time, which you are taking from the Lagna, whether it is 7th Lord, 11th Lord, or 9th Lord, you have to take the 64th Navamsa from Lagna, not from moon. Basic calculation mistake will happen then. Because one thing you are taking from Lagna, the other you are taking from Chandra Lagna. Not possible. If you are looking for something which is giving you mental distress only, you go for Chandra Lagna. Anyway, so this is another proposition. Saturn's moon conjunction, Saturn's moon aspect. And Ketu, for me, nodes have no aspects. I don't consider nodes having aspects. No. They are non-luminaries, so no aspects. Conjunction, of course. So Ketu moon conjunction again. That's it aspect. Now, the third challenge is when an astrologer is capable of saying that this person will have one or two relationships and after that she or he will end up in marriage. Almost impossible. Because in the first case, the living relation might have started during the seventh Lord Dasa. Yes, because living relationship is seventh house. So seventh Lord Dasa. So you might end up, you are married that time. No, no. Add living relationship. So living relationship and marriage, that segregation is very much tougher. You can only say whether this person will get into living relationship via love or it will end up at love, it will not culminate in living relationship, or that living relationship will end up in a good marriage by matching. But living relationship in the coming marital dasa is going to be a living relationship or a marriage very top. Yes, for me it is. If you have some suggestions, you please write. Same thing. Now even they are having this kind of court contracts and they are getting into it, though instances are quite late, but still then. I felt this kind of question so that I am coming out with this video. I thought that let's make one. So what we advise, what you do for image is different thing. But if this kind of combinations are happening, or you can say that this fifth lord, fifth, seventh, They are making a good dasa wise, you know, horoscope is promising a connection between the seventh and fifth. Dasa wise also, the dasa has arrived quite early, like at the age of 20 or 21. It is expected that it is not a marriage, it will be a living relationship, right? So you have to take the secondary impact of age. Okay. Now also people are not getting married up to age of 30 and 35 years. Now what will be the span of that year? A lady in the age of 30 is also living in relationship. These things are minded. This is my prediction. These things will grow. Yes. So be prepared to predict. Love, living relationship, and planets. These things are going. At least living relationship already started. I mean, love relationship is there. So three concepts: love relationships. These two are gossiping over phone, going to some places, going to park, but no conjugal life. Living relationship, conjugal life again. So during their college life, it is love relationship. During their there are there are again exceptions, but not less. Get into that. During the work life, living relationship, after they are done with it, they come for marriage for the sake of procreation. Now, unfortunately, we have the fifth house where we see the progenies is also the house of love. How to segregate them? Good fifth house. Then you look for the Karaka, Jupiter, for children. But till then, a lot of suavities. Suavities means sharp inspections are necessary to arrive any conclusion. After evaluating both the horoscopes thoroughly and carefully, thoroughly means you have to re-evaluate it again and again. How to do it? First you go for D1, D9, then after D1, D9 you add D7 for children, other things you see. Then you again add one birth chart. This is thoroughly. Carefully means first day when I evaluated the chart by looking at the D1 and D9, I was highly enthusiastic and I evaluated it carefully. After 3 days, when I am looking at the same chart, my attention is not that much intense. So carefully also. Then you may reach to some conclusion. I will not fall back to say that the another way of fortune telling now is known as tarot reading, which is basically Western. I have no degree or any certificate course, neither gathered any knowledge on that, but that is basically a kind of intuitive technique to for fortune telling. And these person, those are in relationship, they're also visiting to these guys. I'm not at all concerned about that because they are not taking the karmic path to evaluate anything. So now you got little bit insights how to see. Hmm? Let me again put it into right perspective. Like love, you see from the fifth house, fifth lord, moon. If you find the connection of Rahu, then you find it obsessive love. You find an instinct that it will end up in relationship. Seventh lord should be very strong to culminate that into relationship. Charts of both the partners should match well to convert that relationship into a marriage. Yes, if there is actually a good matching, by default the relationship will continue astrologically. So why divorces in Rajayotaka? I have made one video, I have said. So what the flaws we are making in marriage matching, please go through that. So there are many things to be seen during marriage matching. Even the dasa is very much important. Very good time, other things, but you got married in wrong dasa, sixth lord dasa, conflict is evident. Hmm? So anyway, let's not get into that. But now you are clear that, and also you see the age bar, which age bar the person is talking to, whether he's a student, whether he's a working professional, and which kind of culture he is rearing. We have to take this condition little bit to magnify our prediction. Though astrology does not say. Astrology is just like how you can able to read the karma of that person. Now, new things have come up. Shiva. So you have to see the horoscope in the lieu of the changing situations. Please evaluate Rahu for all this. Astrologers saying Rahu is creating problem for marriage are 100% wrong. Rahu in the seventh house, marital issue. Ketu in the seventh house, marital issue. Sunny in the seventh house, marital issue. Mangal is the seventh house, marital issue. These four planets actually are very good for making money. You make money, not an issue, but this is wrong. If Ketu is doing something, Rahu is opposite. Ketu is physical fight, Rahu is mental fight. Logically, they are posited in 180-degree apart from each other in our chart. Logically, one can say why they are always opposite, even if they are the same body part of the demon Mitravanu. What why? Because astrologically they have got different implications. So Rahu, oh yes, Rahu is fighting, Rahu is Shiva, Rahu is fighting, Rahu is spirituality, Rahu is not capable of manipulating things. So Ketu is not possible. Ketu is bad for marital life. It's concerned. Good for spiritual life, that is a different thing. But Rahu is good. So all this, your love, living relationship, primarily happening due to obsession, addiction, obsession. They are prepared to take the step going beyond the social norms of the cultural norms. So it is obsession. They hardly control over that. Drinking, nowadays it is getting accepted again. So Rahu in the Lagna, Rahu with the moon, he used to say that you have addiction. Now it is getting accepted regularly. So again, we have to see how to apply that. But idea is something which is not accepted, addiction will take you to that. That is why it is addiction, where you lose your control. So Rahu, please look for it. Fifth house, fifth lord, seventh house, seventh lord. In case of marriage, no, not always. Rahu is good, but not always. They are moon, Venus, enough. So that is why Rahu is not taken as a karaka for marriage. But of course, a karaka for bed pleasure. Yes. And here, in kind of this kind of relationship, Rahu. So now you think of more propositions where we can predict this kind of situations. They are coming up. Okay. Mr. X will have how many living relationships before marriage? I cannot say. If Mr. X is going to have three relationships before marriage, to whom he or she will marry? I mean, he will marry. I said Mr. X, so not C. I cannot say. I can only say that whether he will get into relationship whether it is a living relationship or in a marital Shiva or in a love relationship. At least love is now till are getting gradually towards that Rahu and Venus. College students are not reluctant to also live together. Almost they are doing that, but not for our sake. Not let's get into that. So you see, the challenges of astrology or those person those are into astrological research. We have to think beyond classics. I bow down to Maharshi Parasara, Maharshi Jaimini, those who have actually done enough. We just have to do a little. But here research is necessary. You have to see, you have to apply and then predict. So it may take again around 20-25 years to find the combination for that. In this case also you have to see Kujja dosha. Before living relationship, people may ask you for marriage matching also. Yes, why may? People are asking it. It was actually a very good experience for me in staying in that online portal. People are asking anything under this sun. Anything. They are thinking that astrology is like, if I'll dig here, shall I get gold here or shall I get water? They think astrologers are like that. So, sir, I'm into relationship, love relationship. Now we are thinking of getting into this living relationship. So, is it good? Yes, they're asking it. So, living relationship, love relationship is Rahu. Other planets is there. All this is Rahu. You see that, then you predict very carefully, at least looking at D1 and D9. I told you that how to see Moon, Rahu, Venus, and the house lords. Contras are where Saturn is coming into picture, some kind of detachment you see. Ketu Moon, Saturn Moon. Then you see no. Living relationship, it will not end up in a good relationship. It is anti-relationship. Anti-relationship in case of marriage also, here also. So that is one antidote where you can find that yes, this person is going for that via Rahu, but due to this weak moon, he or she will not succeed. But once he or she succeeded, then the challenge begins. Okay. So as you know that I hardly come prepared. I means hardly means I never come prepared. If it is actually not a very systematic video, like I don't go for teaching other things, I give lecture. Idea is to pinch you to think one step ahead. Hmm. And I am not saying it by myself. Guruvar Ken Rao also say that don't believe this classics blindly. Number one. Number two, I am not saying that those go to classics. Only whatever I am saying, it is only 1%. 99% is classics only. I am not saying that. I am saying yes, open your eyes and see how things are acting. Hmm. So if Mahadeva wants and time permits, then I will come up with another video. Please do write more combinations to identify this kind of uh, premarital relationship, love relationship, or the so-called love relationship, of course. Because love is there to give you happiness, not depression. Sir, I broke up. So gloomy. This is not love, lost, of course, but till then, for your convenience, I'm saying. So, Moon fifth lord combination in Lagna make a person highly lovable. If it is a Chararasi, compassionate. Very loving man. Okay. So anyway, so you just see that what are the other combinations we can think of to see this kind of situations which are emerging now will getting enhanced in future. Yes, this is my prediction. I mean, it's not at all a big prediction, but I am saying this kind of questions you are going to face or we are going to face in future rampantly. So please write in comment box. If you like the video, please share. If you dislike the video also, please do share. Because your likingness, your disliking is up to you. You may like certain person, dislike others. Somebody else, maybe the reverse. So it is your subjective thinking. If you think that what I am saying is not good, it is you dislike. But if you have got interest, then you listen. So please share. My idea is to reach to as much as people possible. Don't hesitate to write me mail or write WhatsApp me for any more research. If you want to listen from me from any topic, please also say if at all I am capable of doing that because I am also not from astrological families. I am doing my research and presenting before you. Not even knowing astrology from very childhood. Just very recently I've started. So if I am at all comfortable, I will reply on that. So till then, God bless you all. Om Namah Shivaya.